Hi, I'm Peter Hinssen. I'm the author of The Day After Tomorrow, and I want to talk about chaos and why innovation requires chaos. Chaos is a word that we don't like because traditionally we've been taught to think analytically and organized, and a lot of the thinking that we've had in our schooling, our education, and our corporate life has been based on actually avoiding chaos. But what we're beginning to see is that if you want experimentation and innovation to really take hold, a certain amount of chaos will be essential to actually make that happen. I've been deeply influenced over the last couple of years by, for example, the journey of Intel. Intel is an amazing corporation, one of the powerhouses of the technology and digital economy of today, but Intel has been growing extremely fast for a very long time, from a very tiny startup into an absolute powerhouse. And during that tenure, Andy Grove, who was the CEO for most of that period, had a really, really wonderful saying. He said, "Let chaos reign, then reign in chaos." What he created was a culture inside the organization to really allow chaos to thrive, because he said it's the only way for people to think outside of their normal patterns. It's the only way for people to really experiment and come up with really great ideas. But if you only have chaos, it's just going to explode in your face. You have to let chaos reign, and then you reign in the chaos. You have a mechanism to then start to take some of these ideas and then slowly build them back into something that makes structure and efficiency the next wave of tackling that. I think this balance between chaos and actually structure is what companies have to get right. Many companies today are leaning completely on the structure side, and they leave too little room for that chaos. They might have some pockets here and there, or maybe some people who are doing the day after tomorrow in separate silos, but it doesn't actually become mainstream, and that's why the structure, if it takes over, can actually kill an organization. That balance is essential. I've had the pleasure to see this with many, many types of organizations. A prime example also is, for example, what Visa went through when they started to develop their global network, and they talked about chaotic organizations. It's a combination of chaos and order. Today, my absolute favorite example of what is happening there is the Chinese company Haier. Haier, who is completely reinventing the organizational model. And for a Chinese company that became a global powerhouse in electronics, in white goods and brown goods, they're one of the dominant players in the world that are basically building really advanced technological solutions and understanding customer behavior in a brilliant way. They come from very humble roots. But the leader of this company believes that they constantly need to reinvent themselves. And the idea of allowing chaos to reign inside organizations and then figuring out what works and then scaling that, I think we can learn a lot from these organizations, and certainly Haier is one of my prime examples. The main message is, if it's structure and chaos, you probably need both. But if you want to find the right balance, you might have to rethink where you are today and maybe reset that balance of chaos to make sure that innovation can really rule for you in that day after tomorrow.